Populations up, poaching down dramatically, a rare picture of success in Africa, a continent that has some of the most endangered animals in the world. The African Wildlife Foundation's Vice President, Philip Muruthi, joins us now to discuss this. A very good morning to you. How have you been able to secure this sort of success? Philip, can you hear me? Oh, we can't hear you, Philip. We'll try and sort out your sound and come back to you.
Yes.
Right. We've got you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. The elephant population in Africa is stable. About 415,000 elephants exist on the continent. Most of them are in southern Africa, in east. But the African elephants in west and central are most impacted by poaching historically. The recoveries experienced have mainly been to protection and the involvement of communities, partnerships. But protection is very important because elephants are endangered due to poaching, but also involvement of landowners other than just the national parks. It's very, very key because elephants require large areas. So in countries like Kenya, we have large areas, more than 6.3 million hectares of community conservancies, most of which have elephants on them. So protection, community engagement, dispersal areas, conservation, parks playing their role is very, very, very important. Elephants contribute big number to the economy based on the tourism, but also to the ecosystem services they offer, a very keystone species.
I mean, just so wonderful to hear that sort of success story coming from Africa. I mean, we are bombarded with how poaching is on the up, and as you say, it's only certain sections of Africa. How are you able to make sure that all African elephant populations benefit from the sort of measures that you've got underway?
I think we have to really ensure that people and governments play a big role and they know the role of elephants. That's the beginning point, that elephants are not only our heritage, but they play a big role in our own well-being, in that their ecosystem, they protect them, they play a big role in the healthy ecosystems, in the forests upon which we depend for water and other products such as timber. And then we don't see elephants just as wildlife out there. Not only do they play a role in the economy, but also in our own well-being. And therefore, people will see elephants as important, not just as an animal, but as part of nature.
And I guess the message that their tusks are more valuable on the elephant than anywhere else. I mean, there's so much money involved when it comes to poaching. So how do you offset that with communities who had formerly benefited from that massive amount of cash?
If you take the life of an elephant, which is over 60 years, the elephant and the role that it plays in, for example, dispersing seeds and creating healthy ecosystems in forests and savannas, and the tourism, and given that poaching is actually a crime in all African countries, you see that the elephant is more valuable alive than dead. It's also our heritage, as I said, and therefore we want to keep elephants as part of our heritage. We want to benefit from elephants in the long term, because, as I said, elephants play a bigger role in our healthy ecosystems and in nature than just, you can't just see elephants as a piece of tusk. Those who see that are criminals who are taking advantage of our heritage.
Philip, a lot of areas were adversely affected by COVID-19 and still are. How did that impact the safety of elephants, those anti-poaching rings? I know, many people were out of jobs during this time.
COVID-19 pandemic has affected anti-poaching efforts. As you know, most protected areas and even these community areas I'm talking about depend entirely on tourism revenues. So with the stoppage of tourism, with the international travel being stopped, a lot of areas and governments are having to scramble for money from elsewhere. We are supporting, we have a COVID response fund at the African Wildlife Foundation. We are working with countries, supporting protected area and community groups to keep elephants safe from poachers. I want to reiterate again that poaching is actually a crime. So that the value of elephants, from governments have got national elephant action plans, and this play in the development action plans for most countries. All governments we work with in Africa want to conserve elephants. So it is important to distinguish between poaching, which is a crime, and conservation value of elephants, which all governments and communities recognize.
Well, Philip, Muruthi, very good to talk to you. Thank you, and great for sharing that sort of success story that we so desperately need when it comes to our wildlife.